In this video, I'm going to show you how to play chords up and down the guitar using strings 1 through 3. Most people don't know that you can play tons of chords up and down the guitar by using these strings, and it's very common in music to do so. And I'm going to show you 4 different steps to take to be able to master this and play up and down the fretboard. And the first step is being able to take this shape. Now you might recognize this. This is just a D. All right? For these examples, the 4th string will not be ringing out like it normally does. You're only hearing strings 1, 2, and 3. Now, this is a major shape. And the reason that it's a D is because my ring finger here is on a D note. The 3rd fret of the 2nd string is a D, combined with a major shape equals a D major. Now, if I wanted to play an E major, I would just move this up 2 frets, and now I have an E major. Now, if I wanted to play an F, I just go up 2 more frets, there's an F. Whatever note your ring finger lands on with this chord determines the chord. An A, I'd go to the 10th fret, because that's where an A is. Now, if I wanted to do the minor version, I would just take the D minor shape and then move this up around. So right now I'm playing a G minor because I'm using the minor shape and my ring finger is on a G. Now let's say I wanted to play a chord progression that went B minor, A, G, D. All right, so B minor. I need to find where all of these notes are on the 2nd string. So I've got a B, that's the 12th fret, I've got an A on the 10th fret, I've got a G on the 8th fret, and I have a D on the 3rd fret. So the chords are going to go 12, 10, 8, 3. Now the first chord is a minor, but the rest are major. So if I want to do a B minor, I take my minor shape, and I play it right here. Then an A, like this, G, D. So you can play that chord progression up higher. This actually sounds extremely good if you have someone doing the open chords or bar chords and you're playing up high. It really gels together really nicely. And before I move on, if you've got some value from this video, please like and subscribe so I can get this out to as many guitar players as possible. All right, now for step 2, we are going to use this shape. All right, this is a major shape, and right now I'm playing an A major. My ring finger is on the 6th fret of the 3rd string. My 1st finger is barring the first 2 strings of the 5th fret. Now in this chord, the root is going to be on the 1st string here, okay? So this is an A major, because that is an A note. If you know your bar chords, this is just the first 3 strings of a major bar chord. Now, if I want to make it minor, I lay my 1st finger on everything, like this. Now it's all on the 5th fret, and now this is an A minor. The root is still on the 1st string. So if I wanted to play that same progression as earlier, B minor, A, G, D, I now need to find where those notes are on the 1st string for this shape. So I've got a B here, A, G, and then D. So I'm going 7, 5, 3, 10. For the minor chords, I use the minor shape. For the major chords, I use the major shape. So I've got a B minor, A, G, and D. Okay, now for step number 3. We're now going to use this shape. All right, so this is the major shape, and on this one, the root is on the 3rd string. So that's what's going to determine the chord. Now right now, I'm doing a major chord, and I'm on a D note. So I'm playing a D major. Okay? Now, if I take away this pinky here, right now my ring finger is on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, my pinky is on the 7th fret of the 2nd string, and my 1st finger is on the 5th fret of the 1st string. And that's what's creating the major. If I want to make it minor, I just remove my pinky, and then I put my middle finger on the same string, but 1 fret behind. Just like that. So I've got a major shape, and I've got a minor. And as I said before, these notes are on the 3rd string. That's where the root is of the chord. So the chord progression is B, A, G, D. So I'm going to find a B on the 3rd string, which is the 4th fret. A is going to be on the 2nd fret, or I could do the 14th fret, but I'll do the 2nd fret. Then we've got a G on the 12th fret, and then a D on the 7th. So the chords using these shapes are going to sound like this. All right? And now that you know these 3 different positions, you now know how to play each chord, each major or minor chord in 3 different ways. So if we took a D chord, you could play a D here, or a D here. If you wanted to do a B minor, you could do a B minor here, a B minor here, or a B minor here. Those are just all the other voicings, other types of chord shapes that we've gone over. And now for step 4, you're going to mix them by doing something called playing in position. This is also something called voice leading, but playing in position just means that you're going to generally stay in the same place. So if I wanted to play that B minor A, G, D, but I don't want to move around so much, then I want to mix these different shapes. So let's say that I'm going to play a B minor here. Okay. So now the next chord is going to be an A. I need to figure out where my closest A note is. So I've got an A note on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, not close at all. I have an A note on the 10th fret of the 2nd string, that's 3 frets away, it's kind of close. But then there's an A on the 5th fret. So that is the closest one. And then what shape, major shape, do we know that has the root on the 1st string? This one. So I'm going B minor, A. Now I got to figure out where is my closest G note. So I've got a G note here on the 12th fret. I've got a G note here. Then I've got a G note here. So this one is just a little bit closer. So far I'm using the same types of shapes. I got a B minor, A, G, and then now I need to do a D chord. So we got to look at where's our closest D. I've got a D chord here, got a D chord here, got a D chord here. So the closest one is going to be this. So then I've got So when you're playing a chord progression, you can choose to just use one of these shapes, and you're going to be moving around a lot and create a really cool sound. But if you want a smoother sound, then mix the shapes together so that you don't have to jump all around so much. But let's look at one more example. Let's say we took these same chords, but we reordered them. So let's do B minor, D, G, A. So if I start with this same B minor here, now the next chord is a D, so I need to look for where my closest D is. I've got one that's 3 frets away, I've got one that's 4 frets away, and then I've got one that we're already playing. This right here. So there's a D on the 7th fret of the 3rd string I'm already at. So then you have to figure out, well, what of those shapes that we've learned has a root on the 3rd string? This one. So now I've got this. Now I've got an A, and my closest A is right here on the 5th fret. So what chord do you know has a root on the 1st string? This one. And then we have a G. So by mixing them, you just get a smoother sound. So practice these in your own playing. Choose a 4-chord chord progression and then run through it with step 1, step 2, step 3, and then try to mix them. Once you get really good at this and you memorize where the roots are and where your notes are, then using these will become super fun. But I hope you enjoyed this and got a lot of value from it. I'll see you at the next lesson.